it's Michaela from Ella's site. I'm going to do a fun experiment with you guys today called the Magic Milk Experiment. And this is a good experiment that you can do with toddlers or preschoolers. And it really helps them understand mixing colors, and something fascinating happens. So let's get started. So for this experiment, you're going to need milk, which is typically in a carton or a jug, but for the purpose of today, we have ours in a container. You will also need a little bit of dish soap, and it could be any dish soap. Typically, Dawn works the best. However, I know that we've been successful in the past with other kinds as well. Food coloring, and you can choose a color or have, for this specific experiment, you're going to need at least 4 colors if you really want to see it work properly, and some Q-tips. So we're going to get started by pouring the milk into a container or a bowl. You're just going to pour all of it in here. And as you can see, there's nothing else in it. It's just the bowl of milk. This will also work on a plate, but obviously you're going to want to make sure it's a little rounded on the top so that it doesn't spill over. Okay, so now you can choose your 4 colors. I'm going to pick pink, blue, yellow, and green. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these colors and we're going to put them in quadrants of the bowl. If you're using a plate, it's going to be the same thing. So you're going to want to put a few drops in one corner of the bowl of the same color. And as you can see, it's already starting to spread. Do a different color on this side. Blue in the far bottom corner, and yellow in the last corner. And during this time, you can point out to your children that once you put the food coloring in, it starts to already move within the milk, and tell them to pay close attention to what happens once we dip our Q-tip into the soap and we put it in the middle. So what you can ask questions like, what do you think is going to happen when I put this Q-tip in the middle of the milk? Do you think it's going to change colors? Do you think the colors are going to mix? And try and ask open-ended questions as well. Or you can make statements like, I wonder what will happen when I put this inside, and wait for them to respond. Okay, now we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to take this, dip it in the soap, and dip it in the milk. Whoa! And as you can see, the colors moved all the way to the edge. And this is a fun opportunity for you to talk about what's happening with your children, because when you put it inside, all the colors disperse right to the edge. And you'll often notice children will want to go like this. They're going to want to mix it. They're going to want to see what happens when they do this. You can talk about things like making a color wheel. If the colors seem to mix and make a new color, like as you can see over here, it looks like we have a little bit of purple going on, and a little bit more red just popped up. So children really like this experiment because they get to see how colors mix with other colors, what colors they make, and also the colors, just like it's moving milk. And the reason that this happens is milk is mostly made up of water, but it contains other vitamins and minerals. And when you add the food coloring, you can see that it does not mix up to the milk, while it does if you add it to water. So the difference is the molecules on the surface of the milk have a strong connection to other molecules, and they form a tiny film that sits on the top of the surface. So this film is like a little wall that holds your food coloring drops on the surface, and it's called surface tension. So that's why it happens. And when you add your washing liquid, like your dish detergent here, this little wall breaks apart, and the molecules in the washing liquid weaken the molecules on the surface of the milk, so it destroys that little film that it created, and that's why the food coloring can start mixing with the milk after it's pushed around. And thank you for joining us.